1 week after I leave Overwatch, they come out with this crazy patch and announce it. So we're going to head over to Aaron's dev blog here and see what he has to say. Shout out to Aaron and the team. We're going to read through this. And again, to communicate this, I didn't say I was going to stop covering Overwatch content. I said I was going to stop streaming the game every single day for hours and hours on end. Like, we're still going to come in and check out the updates, do what I can. And right now, we're still in the legal transition phase of Mineplex. So it's a lot going on. But let's go ahead and read this director's take and see what they talk about here. As Season 4 ends, I'd like to take a look at the game's balance. This season, we saw a wide selection of heroes get played. For the most part, the game felt fairly balanced. From a win rate perspective, Season 3 and 4 were some of the most balanced in recent Overwatch history. With this in mind, let's look at 3 different topics from Season 4 and talk about how they will change in Season 5 and beyond. Specifically, I'd like to go over heroes like Junker Queen, Lifeweaver, one-shots, and crowd control abilities in 5v5. That sounds really good. So hopefully they end up addressing some of the things that they've had to patch up in the switch to 5v5. Like, there's a ton of heroes that got direct and indirect nerfs / buffs. Obviously, one-shot snipers. The second that the game was slowed down and Winston wasn't hard meta in Season 1 and Sojourn was so much better than the sniper heroes in Season 1 and 2, that the original snipers were able to kind of start to shine and really make the game feel oppressive and just kind of unfun, like especially Widowmaker getting one shot across the map at ranges you just can't duel, which we're going to be talking about here in a bit, baby. But yeah, let's see what Aaron says. There were a few standouts from a tuning perspective in Season 4. In the mid-season pack, Junker Queen was given a series of buffs. Yeah, godlike buffs, holy cow. And she really started to dominate. Her win rate popped up by about 5%, and she went from being one of the lowest pick tanks to one of the highest. Yeah, no, she was busted. I think I went 15 and 15 on her in GM1 when I first started playing her. It was crazy. Yeah, 5%. By the way, a 5% jump in win rate is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's nuts. For most skill tiers, Queen and Reinhardt were the 2 most picked tanks for the latter half of the season. However, at Masters and above, Queen is far and away the most picked tank. Yeah. One of the big changes that we made was to increase the healing received from her passive. We like this addition to her playstyle, but it also makes Queen too survivable. So we'll be reducing the health she receives from Commanding Shout from 200 to 150 to compensate. We'll also be increasing the cost of her ult by a small amount since she's getting it at a faster rate than before because of the mid-season changes. Okay, so they want her to be... They don't want to reduce her brawl ability, so they're nerfing the shout because she needs the regen. So basically, they want to keep the reward you get for hitting her abilities and the regen, but reducing her tankiness in the shout. That's interesting, but I'm still concerned that the regen might still be a little bit too much for those of you still grinding Queen. But, I mean, I guess the down tune is fair, and they're adjusting the ultimate, too, so that's intriguing that they will want to do that. Okay, so Queen changes seem interesting to say the least. We'll keep going here. Lifeweaver's a really dynamic hero. I agree with this. I think Lifeweaver's abilities are really, really interesting, and there's definitely a way to make him good, right? Some of the plays that people pulled out with him during Season 4 were pretty astonishing. However, he's not powerful enough to be a solid pick for most players. Previously, we stated that we would like there to be a reason to pick new heroes over others in the roster, and this is still our goal for new heroes. It's a good goal to have. That is a good goal to have. We want them to bring something new to the table. However, at the moment, we are looking for the best way to bring Lifeweaver to a baseline. Once people are playing him more, we will get a cleaner read on the character. Fair. That's a fair statement. Players will either start utilizing the varied parts of his kit, or we can take a look at adding something else to it. In Season 5, there will be quite a few changes, mostly buffs coming to life. Interesting. Coming to Lifeweaver. We'll have specific details in the patch notes, but players can expect increases to his healing and damage output. A heal on life grip. Oh my god. A slightly reduced hitbox good, and some quality of life changes to the pedal platform. Okay, these are all things that probably needed to happen. Like, Lifeweaver wasn't a very fluid character to begin with, and he definitely needed some work on the side. So I'm glad that they're doing this. This seems pretty good on paper so far, but we'll have to actually go in there and see what they're like in the game in the patch notes later on. We'll continue to monitor both Junker Queen and Lifeweaver and make additional changes if necessary. Oh, here we go. The community has also voiced concerns over the number of one-shots on both Widowmaker and Hanzo. We'd like to reduce the frequency of these in games. So smart. So, again, if you want to make something less, overpowered, you want to reduce the frequency of it, right? If it's super, super strong, it should have a lower frequency to kind of adjust that. So that's what they're looking to do, which is very, very smart. As well as shore up on some of the extreme sightlines in some of our maps. Oh, thank God. Dude, playing against Widowmaker in 5v5 might have been the single least amount of fun I had in a video game in such a long time. Widow's damage fall off will change from 70 to 100 meters to 40 to 60 meters. Praise Jesus. Praise God. God is real. And listen, I don't care if Widowmaker players are salty. To be honest, I could give a rat's rear end. That was broken and one of the least fun things to play against in the game. And if one-shot Doomfist is going to get changed, you best believe the hero that can one-shot across the map as hit scan, as an easier range with great dive ability that's very easy to peel with a skinny hitbox and SMG options, can't sit in Narnia and one-shot you. Boo-hoo. How about you actually have to play the game now and be a half-decent player instead of exploiting broken mechanics? Go cry about it, baby. Let's go. She will still have the ability to one-shot 200 health heroes at 50 meters or less, which is fine. Just make her be in a range that's doable, right? But further than that, it will no longer be a killing blow. Hanzo will receive. Here's the thing: if she hits the headshot, she can probably just quick tap somebody right after. So, like, you know, it's a 2-tap, making it more like a Barret at range, which is interesting. But further than that, it will no longer be a killing blow. Hanzo will receive a slight nerf to his damage so that he's no longer able to one-shot 250 health heroes. Interesting. I think if they're going to take Hanzo's damage down, they should also increase the arrow charge rate, because basically there's a muscle memory that Hanzo players have had for charge rate, right, for years. And since he actually has bullet drop, unlike Widowmaker, I think it would be okay to do that. And so he still can't one-shot the 250 heroes. I think that's fine, though. His sonar arrow will be more recognizable to the enemy team. Needed to happen, for sure, especially without another tank in the game. The intent here is to reduce kills that feel like they come out of nowhere. We are constantly discussing the nature. Yeah, because the Hanzo might see you, but you don't see that he knows. You don't know that he knows that you're there. So this allows a lot of counterplay. The sonar nerf is definitely the biggest one. The intent here is to reduce the kills that come out of nowhere. We are constantly discussing the nature of one-shots in Overwatch 2, whether they are healthy for the game in general. Interesting. Let's hold on. Let's take a look at something real quick. We have the visualization of new play Overwatch Widow changes. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. So this is old Widow right here, where the fall off starts, and that's new Widow. So yeah, like, she actually is gonna have to be at a range where the cast can deal with her, right? Like, she actually, this is so much better because there was so little risk involved with Widowmaker unless your team was able to pick the perfect counter comp, and with Kiriko being able to TP across the map, Brig packs easily reaching her, right? You know, there was no way to consistently actually get Widow. There just wasn't. So now, if she wants to be as effective, she's actually going to have to play at a more aggressive range, which I think maintains what was unique about the character, but also, you know, makes her doable to the rest of the cast, right? And now, the long-range Widow duels are going to be non-existent. So on these maps that are just awful, right, she's going to have to be up close and personal. I still think, you know, maybe at some point, if Widow's absolutely unpickable, they could increase the charge rate to 100%, making the 2 taps, like a Barret 50 cal, a little bit more accessible to players, right? But we'll see how it actually goes. This is definitely a good change, though. Look at, like, there was, like, this, look at how awful that would be to play against, dude. Like, you're not, like, no one in the cast is dueling her at that range. It's impossible, and it's incredibly frustrating, right? So, yeah, they're tuning down snipers around the fact that there's one less tank to absorb bullets and zone space in 5v5, which absolutely needed to happen. I don't care how mad Widow players are. It's just facts. It's just the truth. Deal with it. So let's see. Lastly, I'd like to talk about crowd control abilities in the game. When we launched Overwatch 2, we made some significant changes to our combat model. The biggest was the shift from 6v6 to 5v5. A part of that change was to remove most of the crowd control abilities from our damage and support heroes. Overall, this was a positive change of the game. At times, the original game felt like you were in a pinball machine. That's really, really true. But we have a lot of high mobility heroes in the roster. A team can't always rely on their tank to take of them. We can't rely on their tank to take of them? Okay. Oh, yeah, take this. Okay, yeah, I get it. So we're softening our approach here. We don't want to return to the state the game was in previously, but we feel like there's some room for CC, especially soft CC in our lineup. We're making changes to both Mei and Cassidy for Season 5 in this model. And I'd like to note, Alec Dawson put up a tweet about Mei stating that her freeze damage was reduced from 100 to 65 a second, which I actually think this could end up being a Mei nerf. We'll see how. I have not seen, full disclosure, I am no longer in the NDA program at Blizzard. They messaged me and said basically, which is fair, by the way, since technically I'm in game publishing now, that I can't be on NDA for Blizzard and Overwatch, which I think is a fair assessment. So to be fair to them, before people are like, oh my God, why are you not mad they booted you? It's like, I can understand it. Granted, mine's only in Minecraft, but it's fine by me. It's fine by me. The primary fire will slow targets, but will also build up to an effect that will apply a much larger slow for 1.5 seconds. Interesting. For players of the original game, I don't know how I feel about that, actually. That just sounds really annoying. For players of the original game, this will feel similar to the way her old weapon worked. Interesting, okay? But like, you can't freeze someone solid though, so they actually can at least duel you back. I think that's a little bit more fair. Cassidy's magnetic grenade will also get updated to deal less damage, as well as applying an effect that slows and blocks movement abilities. So now the stun is homing. It won't do damage, but it's a homing stun that blocks movement. Oh boy. That one is not going to be received well, I don't think. I don't think that one is going to be taken well by the community. Well, again, I haven't seen these. I don't know what they're going to be like, but I don't see people liking that. On top of these changes, we'll be making some tweaks to several other heroes in Season 5. I will say that with this, though, like, at least you'll have time to interact with the stun and, like, get out of the way. So it's not, to be fair, it won't be as bad as Overwatch 1. On top of these changes, we'll also be making some tweaks to several other heroes in Season 5. We can't wait to show you them as the patch notes go live, as well as other things we have coming into the game that season. As always, thanks for reading. I'll see you in game. Okay, I mean, honestly, this doesn't seem terrible. These are raising my the main thing that are raising my antenna is the CC. This is raising my antennas a little bit. Like, oh boy, this is I don't know how that one's gonna be received, but everything else seems okay. So yeah, I mean, good stuff from the team. It looks like, you know, I hope that they do well, and we'll try out this patch for a day or two every week or something like that, just so I don't burn out in Overwatch and have something to do while all these legal stuff is going through. And yeah, so what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Peace out.